What's up, Business Freedom Podcast listeners? So this is the last of, looks like a mini series of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is episode 6 of a mini series that started back on the 13th of November with a podcast episode entitled, Will You Have Regrets If You Stick With Your Current Plan? And so among, I'd say, many things that I've done right over my business career, I've done way more things wrong. That's not what this episode or series is about. The things that I've done right is that I've always been good at seeing something in the future and, doing the things necessary to have that thing become reality. And not just in my business, but also in areas of my personal life. And so that was the challenge with the first episode. Then I went into 8 things you must know about crushing your goals, then key mindset shifts, then breaking down your goals into the 4 key business drivers, which is something that we do here at Real Estate B School. We structure our businesses in a certain way where we can have real picture perfect clarity on what is broken in the business or what needs work so that we can have a foundationally sound business so we can scale, get time, money, freedom, and less stress in our lives. And this episode is what I'm calling using the 3-1-90-13 goal achievement process. And so back in 2009, late 2009, that's the real first business plan that had any worth. I did one the year before that. It was like one piece of paper and I just typed out 5 things I was going to focus on that year. This 2010 business plan that I created in 2009 had really clear parameters on what I wanted my life to look like in 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years. Number of hours I worked, what I was focusing on in the business, working on the business versus working in the business, my net worth, liquid net worth, and overall net worth, if my wife was working or not, GCI in the team, net margin, all of that stuff. And I did what I needed to do to break down that 3-year plan, the 5-year plan into more bite-sized chunks so that I can have a shot at achieving the thing that I wanted to achieve. And I've always been really good at that. And then I started, I think in 2011 and 12, I was into mastering the Rockefeller Habits with Vern Harnish. And so I adopted their process for 2 or 3 years. And lately I've been inspired and influenced by Gino Wickman's work, which isn't anything original. So the book Traction by Gino Wickman, he is really good about honoring those that came before him, that he basically takes their teachings, their research, and puts them into practical tools that we can all use. And so I've been really good at this for 10 years. And then I've modeled Vern Harnish, I've modeled Gino Wickman. And so some of this is inspired by them. So I just want to give credit where credit is due. Also Dan Sullivan. I worked with Dan Sullivan for 4 years, 3 years ago. And so he's really diligent about, he sends you out 25 years in the future. And then he breaks it down. He says, you have 100 quarters between now and 25 years from now. So what are you going to do every 90 days? And so it's always been this focus on ultimately breaking down the thing that we want to achieve into 90 days at a time. And so 3-1-90-13, 3 stands for 3-year, picture 3-year vision, not just in your business, but in all the areas of your life that matter. And I'm going to open up a document here that we go through in our pilot program. And as always, if you qualify for our pilot program, just go to realestatebschool.com. It's obvious what a next step is, what it looks like. Generally, you've achieved at a top producer level. You've got an administrator, a little bit of leverage on the buy side, at least 500,000 GCI. That's my quick commercial for the pilot program. So go to realestatebschool.com for that. So the areas of the life that I want to challenge you on to look at for 3 years from now, first of all, is the business. Get real clear around what you want the business to look like. Then financial, then your relationships. So for me, it was a husband and a father, your spiritual journey. So your walk, your faith walk, your physical body, and emotionally. So those are the 6 areas. You can break those down into your relationships into multiple areas. Those generally are the 3 areas of your life that we look at. And then we get, once we have a clear vision of what you want those 6 areas of your life to look like, and this isn't rocket science, it's basically writing down statements, 3 years from now, my business will look like this: number of sides, what I'm doing in the business, GCI, profit margins, all of that. Spiritually, I'm spending, time with God, loving the time I spend with God. I'm closer, I'm leaning on God more often. I do a men's group. I go to church, regularly. I'm discipling, whatever those things looks like. Physical body, that's always a fun one. Financially, I've gotten rid of this debt. I paid down my mortgage to this. My net worth is this. I'm contributing to this for my retirement. My kids' financial stuff looks like this. Those sorts of things. So that's what the 3-year vision looks like. And then we break it down to a 1-year plan. So in each of those 6 areas of your life, what is the first year going to look like? And the first year of a 3-year plan is a big deal. Like if you don't get the first year right, you've got no shot at ending up where you want to be in 3 years in any area. So it's that first, like what's going to happen in the first year in each of these areas to be successful. Then we take each of those areas, we chunk it down quarter by quarter, a goal and then an actual result. And then in a quarter, we look at 13 weeks. So what are you going to do every week to crush the quarter, stack 4 quarters to crush a year, stack 3 years to crush your 3-year vision in all the areas of your life that matter? And I am oversimplifying this thing tremendously. And all that to say, if you don't have a process by which you achieve, if you don't have a process to envision what you want the different areas of your life to look like, let alone a process to go about achieving results in those areas, the 3-year vision, the 1-year plan, the 90 days at a time, and then breaking down each quarter into 13 weeks, you've got to slow down. It's what we do in the pilot program. I don't care if you do it in the pilot program and if you're a client for Real Estate B School. I just care that you actually do it. Our time here on earth is too short, and I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make my time here matter. So for me, this is like do or die. Like I am not going to waste the opportunity I have here to show up as an awesome dad, an awesome husband, an awesome business guy that's loving and serving my team members, my clients, my spiritual journey, my financial, the work I'm doing in my financial world, emotionally, the joy or happiness that I'm feeling in my physical body, and I'm wearing a shirt as I record this, training the temple, and really honoring the body that God gave me. And so I hope that this inspired you. I'm not going to go into the weekly grind. We have a weekly scorecard that we use with our members. We have a process by which we pick things we're going to focus on. We call those rocks or projects. And we have a dashboard. We lay out your business against the dashboard where we look at the drivers, the accelerators, and the tools and systems that you need to implement. And I went through some of that in last episode on the podcast. So if you missed that one, it's really, really good. And so anyway, hopefully there's a little bit of like conviction in this if you don't have a process by which you achieve your goals. And if you do and it's working really, really well, then so be it. If you do and it's not working, and 3 years ago you set a 3-year vision that you came nowhere close to achieving in any area of your life, then you've got to go Real Estate B School. We have to have a conversation about it. You've got to make your time here count. You got to make the time you spend every day in your business count. And so you're not repeating the same day or the same quarter, the same year after year, groundhog year, right? That you're kind of just showing up and you're seeing what happens that year in your business, and you're not being diligent about the opportunities that really are there if you took advantage of them. So go to realestatebschool.com if this conversation is hitting you in a way where you're feeling motivated to take action because you don't know what you're doing, and you've built a 400,000 or 500,000 at a minimum, all the way up to 4 or 5 million on the top end, our top clients. And we serve a very small slice of the real estate population. So if that's you, go to realestatebschool.com and we'll see you over there. And the first step is just to apply for the pilot program. And then we'll have a conversation around your business, what it looks like today, what you want it to look like, and where we need to bridge the gap. And then we'll get you into the pilot program, which allows you 30 days of free coaching where we'll help you build out this 3-1-90-13. We'll see you over there.